So before we begin, what we've decided is that we're going to treat you guys like investors, as if you're going to invest in our organisation. So essentially what we are is we're the guys, the back-end guys that provide you with all your telephone and internet services. So we are Copper Australia Network Telecommunications. So we've been around for a very long time. So we've been in operation since 1880, which, by the way, was 4 years after the telephone was invented. So we've been doing this for a very long time. And essentially what we are is a copper grid. Okay? So this is, Michael taught Bob how to draw a map of Australia, too, by the way. And essentially what we are is a giant copper grid. So at the moment, so over time what we've done is we've rolled this copper network out. It's got larger and larger, and at the moment we're in maintenance mode. So the need to upgrade and on-go has disappeared over a period of time, and so all we do is fix what's in existence currently. Okay, so before I go any further, I'd just like to have a talk a little bit about the sorts of things that have brought us to this situation at the moment. So because we're a monopoly provider, what's happened is the government has put in place policies and procedures to make it difficult for us to do the wrong thing by the consumer. So, for example, we have the universal service obligation. So if you ring us up and say, I want my telephone fitted, and we don't provide it within 2 weeks, what's going to happen is we're going to cop a fine for it. So if you have problems with your service and we don't rectify it within X amount of times, there's regulations in place that mean that we're going to have bad outcomes because of it. So this has all happened within a very stable environment, and so what that's meant is that's created a structure and an organisation which is extremely tall, it's extremely bureaucratic, it's centralised, it's formalised, and what that means in reality, all right, is the worker that's down the bottom, when he goes out into the field, he finds a problem and he opens the service manual up because there is a service manual for it. There is an operation and procedure to fix any problem. So as he's going along, what he finds is, I need a part. So what he does is he goes up through his chain of command to the field supervisor. The field supervisor turns to the workshop supervisor. It goes down through the chain of command. The worker at the bottom, he either makes it or procures it, and then he sends it out to the field worker. Once he gets the part, then there's another policy and procedure in place into how that it's fitted. So this is how the whole organisation works. And so I've been talking here specifically about the technical side, but even on the human resources side of it, that's exactly how it works. So how these guys deal with each other is tightly regulated. It's about fairness and equity. And because these policies and procedures have been built up over a long period of time, people get that it's fair and equitable. And so they really like the system within which they work. And that's reflected by the fact that the CEO, for example, he's been with the organisation for 40 years and started at the bottom, worked his way up through the ranks to get to the highest level. And that's quite common within the management, that they work their way up through the ranks. But even on average, like the average length of service within our organisation is 10 years. So people have been here for a long time, with the organisation for a long time, they get what's going on.